second highest viewed draft since 2004, 570,000 views. I love that it's a Monday. We'll talk kind of the things we like, things that we'd improve upon. I love that it's a Monday. You commented, I don't know that you love it as much. What are your thoughts on the Monday?
I didn't.
Actually,
I would have liked more of a Tuesday, right? So Sunday, kind of whatever, but like the build up wise, and that's our biggest issue with all of this is the build up, what's happening before, what's the actual day of, that type of stuff. I felt like maybe you do a Tuesday, Wednesday, you get more of a Monday, Tuesday build up to it. That was my only.
I don't hate that. I think so. Build up wise, we talked about like there was nothing on. It started at 4 p.m. We're in Pacific time. Started at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It was like turn on draft. Let's go.
Yeah.
And they do the Holly Rowe kind of walks through, and she talks about this person and that person. Not always positive feedback I saw on social media about Holly this year. Everyone's got their things, but a couple of comments people didn't love. Specifically, one to Bree Beal. People perceived it as her throwing some shade. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. We don't need to get into that specifically. But it was just like, bam, we're into it. Thought it was a missed opportunity. They could have done an hour buildup, a 2-hour buildup, something like that to just set the scene. All right, here's the top players. Here's what each team needs. Here's who we think they should go with, like they do for every other draft. Right. If you turned on an hour early, it was just Sports Center on ESPN. They could have done on ESPN2 or like an ESPN Plus show or thing. YouTube.
Do it on the W's YouTube channel. That would be a perfect place to start if they can get the broadcasting stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking more ESPN, like ESPN should have, but W should have done it. I don't know that they did any. I didn't see anything. If they
I didn't see anything. And I saw a lot of people saying, even when it was starting, like, where can I watch this? Where is it? Like, because there's no hype, there's no build up to it. It's, hey, we're on.
Yeah. Now, they do the W in general, I think, does better content wise than the NFL, NBA does with the players, because and part of this is maybe just because the players accept the collab post with them, but they're doing like shout outs from, famous people or family members that mean something, and they're watching it, and they're doing like the constant content everyone else is doing, like, who's your WNBA GOAT, or who, favorite foods, like shit like that. I always like that stuff, but I liked how there was lots of collab posts with the W and players, which we don't see from other leagues. Maybe that's just because there's not as much content, or they're more open to doing stuff, players in W, but I like that part of it. Other things that I wrote down as things to improve, I guess I would say this too, is no one really stood out from
individuals.
No individual stood out from the perspective of like, you've got this mic time in front of 500 million would have been nice. 500,000, 500,000 people. No one really stood out and like, damn, they killed that mic time. And to me, part of that is maybe the people that were there just weren't, those weren't the personalities to do that. But also, like, I don't love that they do the interviews right there in the ballroom. You've got all these people sitting there watching you. That's a tough deal.
You're standing next to mom and dad in some cases.
Yeah, all eyes are on you. You're like you said, you're right next to them. You're at that table right there, and then all your peers are there, and then there's all this media back there. I love how NFL, NBA, you're kind of pulled to the side. Yes, there's a bunch of people there, but you're not the main attraction. Not everyone in the whole place listening to you. It's something to try to do well at. And we've seen people in the past do pretty good, but I don't love that. I wish they would take that outside. So build up, take that outside. I absolutely love the speed of it. Like, it is, how long is it? I mean, an hour and a half.
Yeah, they did the whole thing under 2 or something.
Yeah, and that's 3 rounds. Yeah, it flies by. I love that. I understand, like, football wise, that would be tough to do because there's so many more people, and there's different, so many more people that are getting drafted, and so many more people you're looking at positionally through the team and draft boards and all that. But NBA wise, man, they should take a page out of their book and like speed this shit up, because I love it.
I do like I totally agree with the standby mom, dad table, do an interview in front of everyone can get awkward. And I don't think it allows the athlete to show as much personality, right? I think the cool aspect that they could do, and very easily, and I didn't see any like fans there, but have that separate room off to the side, off to wherever. And maybe it's an intimate 50, 100 fans there. You don't need to have, you're not filling theaters of 10,000 fans just for this, but have something that like where there's more energy, where they can go in there, they can get a little bit of a pop and then have that interview over there.
I don't hate that idea. There was no fans there, I don't think. I think it's all media VIP. Yeah. Well, yeah, you see the tables there of families and coaches, and you know, there are a handful that they get one table. And then I like Dee, who we work with, was there, who's she's a current player. She wasn't getting drafted. She wasn't part of anyone's team. She's there doing some stuff work-wise. There's media there, and all like standing room only kind of thing.
Yep.
Going in another room, I also think would do this. Like having the fans there could be cool. I don't know if that's the move, especially if you're a fan of a team and you're like, oh shit, we just drafted this person. I don't like that. But what it also does, if they leave, like in the NBA and NFL, like there's a deep breath you can have in there. Like you get drafted and you walk right up and take it. Like you're immediately, bam, get on the mic and your heart's racing. Some of them are emotional as hell. And that can be a cool moment to capture at times, but let them at least like think about, all right, here's where I'm going. Here's the situation. Here's something I want to say. Like let them have a moment to take a deep breath and collect themselves.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know if you saw this, you should have seen it, but in our newsletter that went out, the sports page.
I always listen to them.
Okay, great. We had a breakdown of actually what the salaries are for the first rounders. A lot of people don't know. You're not making NBA dollars when you walk up there. You're not getting that $10 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
First four is about 72,000. And then it trickles down from there to 69,000, 62,000. I think the lower end draft picks are at 60,000 for the year. So you're not making those NBA dollars. Let's give them reasons to, show a little bit more personality. Let's involve them more things so they can go ahead and do that stuff off the court.
Yeah. Well, I think people realize obviously they're not making NBA money, but those other things matter. And, you get in front of 500,000 people, like this is a big time opportunity. Can you help put your athletes in the best position to succeed off the court? Because they're not going to kill it on the court money wise. I didn't know those exact numbers. I knew everyone was like 70-ish. And also I think it was 2 years ago, 9 players who got drafted made opening day rosters. That's it.
So crazy.
And I don't know what the number was last year, and I didn't look it up, obviously. Definitely of the first 3 rounds, not everyone's going to make it. Probably not even half those people will make the day one roster. Others can make it, and injuries happen, and you get called up, like that kind of thing. But I mean, it's the craziest of crazy when it comes to the W. Now, also of note, W-wise, they announced right before that, I think it was actually that day, they announced that at least for playoff games and the championship cup, you will now be able to take charter flights, which is new. A nice step.
Yeah. I'd be curious. Maybe we should do a deep dive on this. So you have, I don't know, you're the mathematician. 12 times 3 is 36. 9 of them make the roster. What happens to the rest of them with 36 minus 9? You're good at math. Figure that one out. 27. What happens? Where do they go? Right. So is 80% of those ladies just done? Do the majority of them go overseas? Do they stick around? Do they get pulled up? I'd love to know that for that draft ratio and percentage of what happens to them, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine most of them are done or go overseas.
I would bet 30% are just done,
Yeah, probably. I mean,
which is crazy because you're a draft pick away from continuing to play, or you're just done.
You're the top of the top.
Yeah.
There's 144 women who make the WNBA rosters. 12 teams, 12 players. That's it. 144. It is the elite of the elite of the elite. It's such a small percentage and so hard to get there. And when you get there, it's not like you're making real money anyway. So that's why it is so important to capitalize on these moments and opportunities, because you can make such great money off the court